What if Female Deku was Derpy, Part 3, the USJ? As Derpy comes into class and goes to her seat, as I'm gonna say Sue's right next to her. Welcome to class, Derpy. Hello, Sue. I'm glad I could be here today. After all, me and my brother went out to get some muffins. So, how was your yesterday? Oh well, I just spent some time with my family. Oh, that's good to hear. My brother's my only family. Really? You don't have a mom or dad? I don't remember much of them. My brother's always been there to take care of me, though. He does an excellent job. Until he's off all the day. Most of the time. I see. So, as then Aizawa would get, calm down, class. It's time for the USJ trip. As Ida would call in line, etc., etc. They would get on the bus, and they would talk about people's quirks and all that. So, Derpy, how strong are you? Oh well, I don't know. I can break walls. Not really too big of a feat, as a lot of heroes can break walls pretty easily. I can destroy a car. I can destroy a bus. I can withstand lightning. You can withstand what? Oh yeah, I got struck by lightning and did nothing. So, wait. So if I were to go all out, would Kaminari says, would I be able to hurt you? Yeah. I'm just immune to lightning. I think anything over that may injure me though. Really? Yes. So I am immune to up to what a lightning bolt is. Essentially. Did not know about that. As Balko just looks back, you just got lucky in that fight. As Derpy just glares, with her eyes crooked. As Balko just shuts up. Before talking. So, I'm curious now. Who is your brother? Again, I told you. I can't. As then her phone would just beep. As she would look at it. As she reads it in her head. This is your brother. I'm on patrol right now. Note, I might get home late. I left you a fresh pair of muffins in the fridge. As she smiles with a big grin, as everyone's just like, what was that? Oh, just a message from my brother. As they would arrive at the USJ. Alright, students, get off. As they would get off and go in, as they would go inside, as 13 would be there. As Uraraka would say, 13! That's my favorite hero! Now, welcome to the USJ, which is a rescue joint operation, essentially. And split into several zones. We have the landslide zone, the mountain zone, the fire zone, the storm zone, and the shipwreck zone. I'm gonna be honest, I've never said this in a video before. But I don't know how they managed to get the fire zone. Like, do they have like fires things for that to make that work? I'll probably get the answer after this video drops. But anyway, they came in and started talking to 13. And, discussing about the plans, what their plans are, is then, of course, there'd be a portal that shows up in the middle, and, well, the villains start to come out, and Kirishima says, sweet, we got fake villains. Those aren't fake villains. As Aizawa was like, stay behind me. As, of course, Kurigiri comes up and tries to teleport all the students. Bakugo attacks, causing 13 to, separate the students. Aizawa went to go fight. And, of course, everyone ends up in their areas. But someone landed in the shipwreck zone in the water. As she got up, as she flew in the air. As she checks her muffins, as they're all soggy and dissolved. As her eyes fill with a flame. My muffins? As she would then look at the villains in the water, before diving in the water, simply just kicking one, swinging over at a fast swimming villain, punching him in the face. As a few more villains come over, as she just spins with her wings, causing a little bit of a vortex, causing the villains to go down. As she flies out, grabs a few, and just starts tossing them on land. And just beating some of them up. As she gets on land, all wet, as there is a current pile of, well, villains, as one's hiding in the water. As she turns back at the villain, who dives underwater, as she simply jumps in and dives. As she is swimming and grabs the villain and tosses him out and onto the pile. As she gets up, as she cannot fly because her wings are now soaked. As she makes her way towards the front, as she pulls out a bat, seemingly from her pocket, and is just hitting her hand with it. Who's gonna die tonight? As a few villains chase at Derpy, just swings it, hitting one right in the jaw, then swings it again, hitting one right in the head. As she would just start making her way to the front, where she sees Aizawa being pinned by the Nomu. As she would see Kurogiri, as she would start running with the bat straight to Kurogiri. You will pay for, well, ruining my muffins. As she rushes to Kurogiri, as Shigaraki turns around and grabs the bat as it dissolves, as she just, front line hits Shigaraki in the face, sending him back a bit, as she tries to jump on Kurogiri, as, fails, but it's an attempt. As she grabs another bat and tries to throw it at Kurogiri, which seemingly goes through him. As Shigaraki orders, Nomu, get her! As she would then turn her head over at the Nomu, seemingly glaring at, as it rushes towards her. As she hooves the Nomu in the face, seemingly just moving its head a bit, as it swiftly turns its head, before punching Derpy and sending her flying. And the pressure given behind the punch actually cleared her wings off to where she is able to fly. So she is now flying in the air with an angry look. As she grabs another bat. Who's gonna run away? 'Cause they're never gonna find your body. As she just rushes at the Nomu, hitting it straight in the head, which of course has shock absorption, so doesn't really work. But it simply grabs it and tries to fling Derpy, as she just simply lets go and kicks it in the head. It still does nothing, but as she starts to basically hit it. Now, it doesn't really do any damage because this thing has shock absorption and all that, which is kind of a bad matchup here. Because no physical attacks Derpy can whip out can actually do any damage to the Nomu. So she simply flies off, as she is now tired after she has been in the angry form for about 10 minutes, which is about her limit of how long she can stay without getting exhausted. So as she's flying, she's starting to slow down a bit as she's breathing, and she's just staying in the air to keep away from the Nomu. As, of course, Kurogiri tries to, teleport Shigaraki's hand to grab her wing or something. No, Derpy may be tired, but her reflexes are still very much there. As she quickly turns around, grabs Shigaraki's arm, pulls him through, and flings him at the Nomu. As he's doing cartwheels heading towards the Nomu, landing straight on his face. And this is where Derpy starts to slowly descend to the ground. And of course, this is when All Might arrives. Never fear, I am here. Who would rush down and fight the Nomu. As Derpy is just sitting on the ground as she's exhausted after, well, technically using her rage mode. Or, shall I say, Muffin Fury mode. Now, she does have a limit on this mode, about 10 minutes in total, where she is basically increases her strength, durability, speed to a certain degree. Stamina not so much. As she is basically about to, well, pass out, and of course, Shigaraki would take a chance to try to kill a student, but the other students show up and get her out of there. I'm gonna say Todoroki. Todoroki gets her out of there. Now, basically, the fight would go as canon. Now, of course, an ambulance would show up and check on the students. She's just simply exhausted. And this is where Hawk shows up as he's going up. Where's my sister? As walking through, as they're wondering why the third hero, Hawks, is here. As the detective comes up. Hey, why is Hawks here? You didn't know? Huh? Derpy is Hawks' little sister. As all of them are shocked. Huh? Yes. The number, 4 heroes' little sister is Derpy. As they all look at each other. I'm the son of Endeavor, and I didn't know that. Don't be surprised. They kept the secret for a while. It's the same detective that is trusted with All Might's secret. As, of course, all of them are dumbfounded. As Derpy is basically in an ambulance as Hawks get in there. Is she alright? Oh, she's fine. She's just exhausted. I recommend she gets rest. She went into Muffin Fury, didn't she? As we get some history with this ambulance. This ambulance. Apparently, this is not the first time they've had run-in with Derpy. I'm going through the list now. We have the empty muffin shop. We have a car crash. We have the muffin store next door. We have the mall. We have the USJ now. And we have a shipping container. Don't ask how that one got involved. As after they're done checking on her, notice that she's exhausted. She wakes up. As what awaits her is the smell of muffins. As Hawks brought he always keeps an emergency muffin for Derpy just to calm her down. As she wakes up, muffin! As she grabs it and starts eating it. Alright, don't scare me like that. No promises. As she smiles and just finished eating the muffin. And that is the end of part 3 of What If Fem Deku was Derpy, the USJ.